NAF deploys fighter helicopter to Plateau. Photos? The Nigerian Air Force deployed some of its air assets to Plateau State. This is to provide support to ground troops following report of violence and killings in the state. This is in compliance with a directive from President Muhammadu Buhari, to ensure that an end is put to the current spate of violence and killings in the state. The Nigerian Air Force has deployed some of its air assets to Plateau State in a bid to maintain peace in the state following reports of attacks. In a statement by NAF on Thursday, October 19, it explained that the deployment was ordered by Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, the Chief of Air Staff. NAF deploys fighter helicopter to Plateau. This is in compliance with the directive of President Muhammadu Buhari to put an end to the killings and violence reported in the state. This air deployment is based on the directive of President Muhammadu Buhari. NAF said the deployment was to provide air cover to ground troops in order to stop attacks in the state. Read the statement below. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has deployed some of its air assets and personnel to Jos, the Plateau state capital, to support Operation Safe Haven to maintain peace and curtail senseless killings as well as possible spread of violence in some parts of the state. The deployment was ordered by the Chief of the Air Staff, CAS, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, in compliance with the directive of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Muhammadu Buhari, to ensure that an end is put to the current spate of violence and killings in the state. The Air Force will provide support to ground troops. The deployment is also to ensure the prevention of reprisal attacks, which could escalate the conflict. The deployed NAF assets include the L-39Z aircraft and the EC-135 helicopter, which are to provide necessary air cover to the surface forces participating in the operation in the state. It would be recalled that the NAF has always acted in aid of civil authority, whenever called upon to do so, in line with its statutory role. NAF deploys some of its air assets to end violence in Plateau. Pay attention, read the news on Nigeria's #1 news app. The NAF, apart from its presence in the northeast to fight Boko Haram insurgents, has also deployed its air assets and personnel in recent times to Kafachan in southern Kaduna and to Kum in Taraba State to stop incessant communal clashes. The NAF remains focused on its primary responsibility of ensuring the security of the citizenry while continuing to count on their support and understanding. NAF.com had reported that President Buhari directed the military and the police to put mechanism in place to ensure that there is no reprisal attacks in Plateau State. Vanguard reports that President Buhari, who was reacting to the killing of over 20 persons by suspected herdsmen, said the madness should not be allowed to continue. NAF.com gathered that a statement signed by Garbishu, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity on Monday night, October 16, in Abuja, revealed that Buhari said he received with deep sadness and regret news of the killings of over 20 persons. According to the statement, President Buhari believes that this madness has gone too far. He has instructed the military and the police to not only bring the violence to an instant end, but to draw up a plan to ensure that there are no further attacks and reprisal attacks by one group against the other.